Now I would like to call Rafael from 21212 from Brazil to come to the stage. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm here to talk about some learnings that I've got from 2 experiences in Brazilian startup ecosystem. I'm co-founded 2 companies in Brazil, Móvel. It's a mobile company founded in 2000, and 2122 is a digital accelerator. Móvel is a mobile platform company. We develop softwares for e-commerce and content. We usually say that we are kind of Procter & Gamble for mobile because we don't have just one product. We have a lot of products from SMS to Android and iPhone apps. And we are, that there is a market in Brazil for startups, not only for mobile, but also web startups, all kind of startups. And now Móvel is the #1 company in Latin America developing the same thing we start in 2000, software for mobile. We have some offices in other places of Latin America, and now we just opened 1 year ago an office in Silicon Valley. 2122 is founded in 2011 based on the experience we brought from Móvel, and it's basically a digital accelerator. We created not as an accelerator, but based on the case of Y Combinator from Silicon Valley. We realized that this is a business model that we can follow. And me and some other partners from Móvel, together with some two Americans that were looking for the Brazilian market for a long time, we realized that there were a lot of opportunities in Brazil. The ecosystem is still really young, but we believe that there is a lot of opportunities there. What we did in 2122 is 2 years of operation, and we have around 27 people working there. It's different from other accelerators in the US because we need to give for the entrepreneurs some parts of the business they usually don't deliver, like legal, developers, design. So for many startups in Brazil that is in a really early stage, we can supply their needs with our team. That's why we have a big team, right? 27 people is too much for an accelerator, but there is a reason for that. We already run 3 acceleration processes with around, now it's 33 startups accelerated that already created 250 new jobs in Brazil. 60% of those startups, 65, they generate revenues. That's our first goal, right? And you already funded 11 startups that raised 25 million reais. We have a huge network of mentors for sure in Brazil and also in the US, but our goal is to develop startups in the Brazilian ecosystem and then to Latin America and to the world. We have one of our companies already working in the US, and they are doing pretty well. But my idea here is to share the main lessons I've learned during these 13 years since I found Móvel. And for sure, some of those lessons I think everybody already knows, but what we are doing is trying to apply these knowledge in the day-by-day of our business, right? So the first one, and I think is one of the most important one, is at least considering emerging markets like Brazil. This is definitely a long-term game. It's impossible to figure out a case of a startup succeeding in 2 years in Brazil, right? We are working to create companies that can reach 100 million reais in revenues in 10 years. That's our goal, to create other companies that can reach this goal. So when we look for entrepreneurs, we're looking for guys that want to really focus in a long term, to 5 to 10 years of hard work, not 2 years, right? The other thing that we realized, and it was it was tough to reach there, is that it's almost impossible to do it alone. We need an ecosystem. We have another example of great ecosystem around the world, not only Silicon Valley. In Israel, you see the next pitch about that, and it's a really, really great ecosystem, but each one has their own particularity. And Brazil, we cannot, we stopped trying to replicate Silicon Valley, right? Because all the time we heard someone saying that in Brazil, we can have a Silicon Valley in Latin America, it will be in Chile, it will be in Rio. People start to fight about that instead of working together to create a bigger ecosystem. And definitely we need a bigger ecosystem. I think most of emerging markets should work like that, not creating a lot of small ecosystems, but a bigger ecosystem to try to do something near to what we saw that happened in US, specifically in Silicon Valley. The other point is sometimes it's really difficult to explain and to work with some entrepreneurs that most of them are looking for money. They are not looking for growth. They are not looking to create a company that generates revenues. They are looking to create something that in 1 year they can raise $1 million and they can be more 2 or 3 years working. And that's not what we believe. We believe startup is totally based on growth. The founder from Y Combinator, Paul Graham, usually say that a startup must have 5% of growth per week. And that's what we really believe. Investment will follow, right? That one, maybe it's the most cliche ever. People are everything, but I keep it here because it's one of our main challenges in Brazil. We don't have enough people, entrepreneurs and tech people, prepare to create startups. So we are now trying to import some entrepreneurs to Brazil. Brazil just launched a program. It's kind of different from Startup Chile program because the government is working with accelerators, with private accelerators, and we are really looking for foreign entrepreneurs. We really need people in Brazil that want to play this game, right? Time is everything, and it's not only about to be it's all about being the right time, you know? When we started our mobile company in 2000, it definitely wasn't the right time. We struggled during 3 years trying to create games and applications for mobile. At that time, mobile phones were not like iPhones. It's like this, you know? It's small screens, it's black and white, and it was a terrible experience. But we like that market. We believe that it will change during the time, and we keep betting, right? So after 3.5 years, we start to realize that the market is changing, and we were there as the main company doing that, right? But sometimes it's a little bit more complicated. We create a product that probably should be the first Dropbox application ever. It was in 2003. We call it mobile desktop. It's exactly the same as Dropbox is, but we gave up this product like 2 years before Dropbox exists. So it's not necessary to be always ahead of the time. You know, we should look to the right time. The last one is this complicated graphic, but it's the main learning, I believe, and what we call do not stuck in the middle, right? We realize that most of startups we deal with, they are trying to get scale really, really, really fast. They are trying to get scale in 1 or 2 months or in the first year. So they actually don't have a clear business model on what to do and what kind of product to do. And we believe they should focus on one of these 2 paths, not in the middle, right? Or they create a company that starts to make money right in the beginning as a positive cash flow company. They probably only deliver for early adopters, but they will be a company, a healthy company, right? Making money since the beginning. And then they will need to find a way to grow, to scale. The other path in the left side and the right side is when the company creates a really, really great product that people love. So they have the viral effect, they have a lot of people using their products, even if they don't have any kind of revenue streams. You know? So this time, at least in our market, in Brazilian market, I estimate that is 2 to 3 years to find a way to reach one of those. It will work for your product. It's really difficult to start in the middle, but most of our entrepreneurs, we are usually see that they are trying to do both at the same time. You know? After some time, after 2 years, or even maybe less, they can get this situation that they are creating social and economic value, both at the same. So they are scaling. That's what all entrepreneurs want to be, and that's where we want to be with our companies. But we must understand that the beginning of this process will be in one or the other path. It's really difficult to explain that to entrepreneurs because most of the time they are trying to do a product that people love and make money at the same time. And it's really being hard to make it happen. But another way, we saw some cases of our accelerated companies doing pretty well, following one of the two paths in a time. So we have some companies that there are not yet a lot of revenues. They are trying to identify a good revenue model, but the people love their products and they are growing a lot in terms of users base. So they already got some funded because in this case they need funded to keep doing, and it's not so easy to be funded like in US, but we are creating our ecosystem. And the other side, we have companies that start small, but positive cash flow. So we are realizing that in some time, we're not so anxious, we can create some companies that scale and maybe be another company like Movil is now. So in a nutshell is that. I believe that the 6 main learnings we got from this time, and I want to share with you. Thanks.